The Psychology of Money, Lessons that will change how you think about wealth. Welcome to English Philosophy, the podcast where we decode life, success, and self-growth through the most powerful books ever written. I'm your host, and today we are diving deep into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a modern classic that explores how people actually think and behave around money. This book isn't about investment strategies or market predictions. It's about behavior, emotion, habits, and perspective. And if you understand these, money becomes a tool, not a burden. Let's get started. Understanding the psychology behind wealth money is not always logical. People earn it with spreadsheets, but spend it with emotions. Morgan Housel argues that personal finance is more about psychology than math. He explains that doing well with money has a lot more to do with how you behave than how smart you are. You don't need a high IQ. You need patience, discipline, and a long-term mindset. Let me give you an example. In the book, Housel mentions Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant. He lived frugally, saved consistently, and by the time he died, he had accumulated over $8 million, all invested slowly over decades. Meanwhile, some top-earning athletes or celebrities go bankrupt within years of retirement. The lesson? Wealth is not what you see. It's what you don't see. The savings, investments, and choices you make behind the scenes. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. What seems crazy to one person is reasonable to another. Our money decisions are shaped by personal experiences. If you grew up during the 2008 financial crisis, you may see investing as risky. But if you were raised in a bull market, you might think the stock market only goes up. There's no universal financial truth. What's normal to one might be terrifying to another. And so, Morgan says, people do crazy things with money. But no one's crazy. We are just reacting to the world we know. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Let's talk about two powerful forces, luck and risk. Success is never just talent. Sometimes it's about being born at the right time, getting the right opportunity, or even knowing the right person. But we often ignore that. The author gives the example of Bill Gates. He had the talent and determination, but he also happened to go to one of the few schools in the 1970s that had a computer. On the flip side, many equally smart and hardworking people never made it big, not because they were wrong, but because they were unlucky. Lesson? Be careful judging others or even your own success. Respect luck. Respect risk, and never be too proud or too critical. Chapter 3. Wealth is what you don't see. Most people confuse being rich with being wealthy. A fancy car, expensive clothes, or a big house might look like success, but they are just spending. Wealth, on the other hand, is invisible. It's the money you haven't spent. It's savings, freedom, and the ability to walk away from things you don't like. Morgan tells us to avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation. The more we earn, the more we want to show off. But real financial freedom lies in not needing to impress others. Chapter 4. Save money. Always Housel says, you don't need a specific reason to save. Save because life is unpredictable. Save because it gives you options. You don't need to be a genius investor. Just consistently saving, even in small amounts, can build wealth over time. You might need that money for emergencies, job losses, health crises, or opportunities. Morgan encourages us to live below our means, not because it's a sacrifice, but because it's the only path to peace of mind. Chapter 5. Reasonable greater than rational. We often aim to be logical with money, making perfect spreadsheets, calculating every investment. But Morgan says it's better to be reasonable than rational. For example, buying a house might not be the best financial decision in some cases. But if owning a home makes you feel safe and stable, then it's a good choice for you. Money is emotional. And decisions that bring emotional satisfaction, like avoiding debt, having insurance, or keeping some money in cash, are often better than purely rational ones. Chapter 6. You are not alone in the game. Another golden point. Understand your time horizon. Many people panic in the short term because they are watching what day traders or full-time investors are doing. But if you are a long-term investor saving for retirement, why worry about what's happening today? Morgan warns us not to copy others blindly. Their goals may not be your goals. Their risk tolerance may be very different. Chapter 7. Freedom is the ultimate dividend. What is the purpose of money? According to Housel, the biggest return on money is not luxury, it's freedom. The ability to wake up and do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, with whom you want. Money should buy independence, not stress. If your job, business, or lifestyle owns you, then maybe it's time to redefine your goals. Chapter 8. Beware of overconfidence. The world is uncertain. Markets go up and down. Jobs come and go. Overconfidence makes us believe we can predict or control more than we actually can. This is why having a margin of safety, extra cash, fewer liabilities, and low expectations helps us survive downturns. Being humble about your limitations keeps you in the game. Chapter 9. Compounding is magic. One of the biggest secrets in wealth building is compounding. Take Warren Buffett, for example. He's worth over $100 billion, but most of his wealth came after he turned 50. Why? Because he started investing as a teenager and let his money grow over decades. The lesson: time is more powerful than skill. Start early. Stay invested. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Final lessons and practical takeaways. Here's a recap of the key lessons from the psychology of money. Behavior trumps intelligence, saving consistently, and avoiding greed is better than chasing high returns. Respect luck and risk. Be humble in success and graceful in failure. Don't try to impress others. True wealth is invisible. Save without needing a reason. It's your safety net. Focus on your own financial goals. Ignore the noise. Invest for the long run. Compounding needs time. Freedom is the real goal, not fancy possessions. Be reasonable, not just rational. Money is emotional. Have a margin of safety. Be prepared for the unknown. Stay in the game. Long-term survival wins over short-term wins. Final words. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money is not a book filled with charts and numbers. It's a deeply human guide to understanding how our beliefs, emotions, and habits shape our financial life. We hope this podcast helps you shift your thinking and align your money habits with what truly matters to you, whether it's freedom, peace of mind, or purpose. If you found this valuable, don't forget to subscribe to English Philosophy for more book breakdowns, life-changing ideas, and real-world wisdom. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, the best investment is always in yourself.